Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Visit LICM at Home. Today we'll be digging into geology, playing some games together, meeting a reptile, doing some crafts, making instruments, and making oobleck. I'm Melissa Sorvillo, Social Media Manager at Long Island Children's Museum. This is our second full video, full-length visit to represent the multidisciplinary experience that our visitors get while visiting the museum itself. We hope that you'll follow along with us, and you can always feel free to come back to this video to see one of the presentations again if you want to do the crafts or activities at a different time. Just go to licm.org/@home2. Two? It's the numeral 2. So let's get started. Up first we have Mike and Claire.
Hi everyone, it's Claire here. You might know me from different science programs that we offer at the museum, like the Monarch Larva Monitoring Project in our Milkweed Garden, or the Calling Young Scientists program. I know that you all have things that you love to collect, whether that be leaves that fall off the trees in the fall, or seashells that you get at the beach. I'm here at home with Dr. Mike Demick, Professor of Biology at Adelphi University, who loves to collect rocks. So, Mike, what rocks do you have to show us today?
I'm going to show you 3 rocks from my collection today. The first one is a limestone. Limestone is one of my favorite rocks because it's made of fossils. In this limestone, you can see the remains of seashells. What you can't see is that this entire rock is composed of microscopic shells in addition to the ones that you can see. This rock I collected in Kentucky, and it's about 350 million years old. And that indicates that at that time, most of the middle of North America was covered by a shallow sea rather than being landlocked today.
What else do you have to show us?
The second rock I have to show you is granite, but it's an unusual granite because it's got this blue mineral composing a lot of it, and that blue mineral is called sodalite. Rather than the regular granite that you might find on your kitchen counter, this sodalite has a lot of sodium, which changes the mineral's structure and the way that light passes through it, giving it this blue color.
And last but not least?
Last but not least is a mudstone. This mudstone might seem a little dull and boring looking, but if we look closer, we can see that inside of it are lots of other little pebbles and rocks that have been compressed to create one solid, very hard stone. This rock was collected actually right here in Long Island, and this is part of the bedrock of Long Island. It is 150 million years old and was deposited by streams at a time when the dinosaurs were roaming around Long Island. We can only see the bedrock of Long Island exposed in a few places, maybe around Glen Cove or other small spots along the North Shore.
Thanks so much for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
So if any of you have questions about rocks that you may have found, or if you just want to share the things that you love to collect, comment below.
Hi everyone, it's Ashley from the Children's Museum, and I have some questions for Claire and Dr. Mike about some rocks that I found in my own backyard. I was wondering if maybe you could tell me what they are or different facts about them. So I found this black one here that has lots of layers, and it's really shiny and lightweight. This reddish one here that's also very lightweight and has lots of holes. This white one that looks like a lot of little pieces stuck together. This bigger one that also looks like a lot of pieces stuck together, but they're all different colors. This one that has a lot of silver flecks in it, and it's really shiny when I hold it in the sun. And this one that looks like it's made up of many different layers.
Thanks for all of your questions, Ashley. It's really cool to see what you can find just in your own backyard. So let's see if Mike can help us out and tell us some more about the things that you found. So the first rock that Ashley showed us, it was black, it had a lot of layers, it was lightweight and shiny. What could that be?
To me, that one looked like coal, specifically a type of coal called anthracite, which would have been formed as plant remains decayed and were compressed into a rock over millions of years.
The second one that Ashley showed us, it was red, it was lightweight and full of holes.
That one was a sandstone. Like the name suggests, that's just a stone where the grains are made of sand that are cemented together.
The third one, it was white, and it had lots of little pieces that looked like they were pushed together.
Yeah, that one was granite. It was rounded and eroded, so broken down by glaciers, but it was a normal piece of granite like you might find on a kitchen countertop.
The next one was bigger, but it was also made up of pieces together, but she said that it had a lot more colors in it. It wasn't just white.
That one is called a conglomerate, and it's similar to the sandstone in that it's made up of many grains cemented together. It's just that the individual grains are much larger, like pebbles.
Interesting. The next one, it was silver, and it had lots of flecks in it.
That rock was very different from the others. That's a metamorphic rock.
And what does that mean?
A metamorphic rock is formed by taking another rock and adding a ton of heat and pressure over time. That specific kind of metamorphic rock is called schist.
And the last one, it had lots of different layers to it.
That is another metamorphic rock where if you took schist and cooked it even more and added more pressure, you would get that kind of metamorphic rock. That's called gneiss.
So it's not a bad rock, it's a nice rock?
It's a nice rock, yeah. Gneiss with a G. G-N-E-I-S-S.
Well, thank you, Mike, for helping us out with all of these rock questions. If you have any rocks that you want to share with us, post them below.
Thank you, Claire and Mike. To everyone watching at home, please do post those photos of rocks from your collection so that we can help you identify them. Up next, we have a fun challenge with Rainy. This is an obstacle course designed for children as young as 2 years old, but you can definitely make it more advanced or get as creative as you'd like. Let's join Rainy and her daughter for some inspiration.
Hi everyone, my name is Rainy Vargas and I am the Visitor Experience Coordinator at the museum. I am here with my daughter Addison, who is 2.5 years old, and today we are going to be doing an obstacle course indoors. You could use anything that you have at home to do this. I'm going to show you a few items that we are using today that we had lying around the house. So for the obstacle course, we will be using brown streamers and green tissue paper that will represent walking through the jungle. We also have building blocks. Build a tower as quick as you can, and then of course knock it down. Any tape will do. We're going to be putting this on the floor in a straight line to represent walking a balance beam. Also a ball and some plastic cups. Any cups will do. I just had these lying around, so we're going to use about 10 of these to create a little bowling activity. And then a plastic egg and a plastic spoon for just a little egg race. And then of course pillows to represent crawling through the cave. So let's get started. Okay, balance beam. Okay. Your turn. Okay, let's roll the ball. Roll it. Roll it. Go ahead, roll it. Okay, crawl through the cave. Go, 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 go. Go, go, go. Woo! Okay, good job. All right, let's just do this quick, okay? Walk the egg on the line. This one. This one. Can you walk the egg on the line? Okay, that's fine. Oh, you balance the egg so well. Good job. All right, let's build a tower. Come build a tower with me. This is yours. Hands out. Go ahead. Go ahead, honey. Okay, and Mama do one. This one. Mom, here. Oh, whoops. This is yours. This is for you. Addie, do you want to knock down the tower? Yes! All right. Knock it down. Whoa, okay. Come on, let's go to the jungle. Woo, your turn. Your turn.
So I'm sure all parents can relate that partnering with a 2-year-old can be quite the challenge. But we have fun learning and playing together. I have a change of scenery here because my own kids are having a snack right now. Hopefully that goes okay, right? Okay, yeah. So as far as your obstacle courses go, you can snake them through the different rooms of your house if you'd want. You could add in some sports drills or some exercises. You can compete against each other to see who can beat one another's time, or if you play by yourself, try to beat your own time, whatever you'd like. Get creative and let us know what you do. Up next, we have Ashley, and she has a game that's designed for the preschool or early childhood set, but we can switch it up and kids can trick their grown-ups. Get as complex as you'd like, and let's see what Ashley came up with. Take it away, Ashley.
Hi everyone, it's Ashley from the Children's Museum, and today I have a fun game for you to play with your family called Muffin Tin Memory. For this game, you'll need a muffin tin and some different toys or small objects that you can put into the holes. I have some blocks, I have some puzzle pieces that look like animals, some balls, and some plastic play food. You can set this up in categories like I did for younger children, or if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can mix the categories around the muffin tin. So you can play this game with your grown-ups, with your siblings, anyone that's at home with you right now. And we're going to start by playing together. So I'm going to ask you guys to play along with me, and if you need to pause the video at any point to take a closer look at where the objects are, you can do that too. All right, are you ready to start? So we're going to cover the muffin tin first with a dishcloth, and I'm going to remove an object from underneath, and you guys are going to guess which one it is. Okay, here we go, guys. Do you know which one is missing? If you guessed the blue ball, you were right. Let's try again. All right, which one did I take away this time? If you guessed the zebra, you're also right. Let's try again. Which one is missing? The broccoli, very good. So now you guys kind of have a good idea of how to play this game at home. I hope you enjoy playing this with your family and your siblings, and I hope that you will have a great day.
Thanks, Ashley. Up next, we have Marissa Feldman with the animals of LICM.
Hi everyone, my name is Marissa and I am the animal educator here at the Long Island Children's Museum. I was here today taking care of some of the animals and I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to introduce you to another one of our animals. Today we have Franklin with us. Franklin is an eastern box turtle and he lives here at the museum with us. So eastern box turtles are pretty special turtles, and I'm going to explain why. So most of you probably know that when a turtle gets nervous, a lot of times they can hide inside of their shell. So that means that his head and his arms would go inside of his shell to help protect him. There's one problem with that. If you can see, there's a little bit of space between his shell, and if an animal had a really sharp beak, maybe it could still get to him while he's hiding in there, but not Franklin. Eastern box turtles are special because he has something on his belly I'm going to show you. You can see this line right here, right? So that's sort of like the hinge on the bottom of his shell. And what happens is after he gets into his shell and he hides from it, he can actually take that bottom piece of shell and close the door behind him, right? So it makes him pretty impenetrable in the front, and it makes sure that he's nice and safe in there. So that's something special that eastern box turtles can do. If you're wondering where you can find this type of turtle, they're actually native to Long Island, and they're native down the whole East Coast. So you can find them from all the way up here, all the way down to Florida. They're pretty common animals. So let's look at his colors. If you look at his shell, you can see that he is pretty much brown, right? He's got a lot of brown, he's got a little bit of yellow going on. Now those colors would help him in the wild too. Imagine that you are a bird and you're flying way high above, and Franklin is hiding in his shell, and all you can see is this. And maybe if he's near some rocks, he might blend right in, and you might think that he's a rock too, right? It's a pretty good camouflage for him. So those colors are great. And if you look at his eyes, let's see if he'll let us look real close. So if you look at his eyes, you might be able to see that they're kind of a pretty orangey red color. There you go. And that color tells me that Franklin is a boy. If it were a girl eastern box turtle, the eyes would be really dark brown, almost black, right? So we know that Franklin is a boy. Another feature you might notice is his feet. He's got some really wide feet, and he's got some nice long nails. And he does get pedicures here pretty often, but it is important that they have a little bit of that nail left because it's pretty useful to him. So as you can imagine, turtles are not the most agile animal. So when they're climbing, it helps them to grip onto things. And his wide feet might help him if he's in gravel or sand to kind of push that under him so that he can get around. And the last thing that those nails are good for is, imagine if he turned over on his back by accident, he might be able to use those nails to latch onto something to help him get himself back upright. So all pretty useful. Yeah. Now you guys might be wondering what we feed him here at the museum. He is an omnivore, which means that he likes to eat plants and he eats meat. So for plants, we usually feed him greens and fruit. So he might get arugula or kale, and then he'll also get some apple. He's had pumpkin before. We try to mix it up every once in a while to keep things interesting. He's not a very big veggie eater, I hate to say. I wish he was a better veggie eater. But he does enjoy the meat part of his diet. And for meat, he gets big fat worms, right? He loves his worms. He gets super worms a few times a week, and that's his favorite snack to eat. And if you're wondering how old he is, if you took a guess, you probably wouldn't get it, but he's actually 44 years old right now, which might sound old to you, but if we take extra good care of Franklin, he could live to be 100. So while they are great pets, they are a big commitment, right? So that's it for us from the Children's Museum. Hopefully I can bring you guys some more videos while I'm here taking care of them. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.
So Marissa was at the museum caring for the animals earlier this week, which is how she was able to show us Franklin. But up next, she's back at home and she is showing us a craft that is inspired by Franklin.
Today I'm bringing you a simple animal craft to do at home. So today we're going to be making a turtle friend. Here's my example that I made. And we're going to be using stuff that we would find at home, nothing too fancy. So let's talk about our supplies. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to figure out what your shell is going to be made out of. So for the turtle shell shape, we want something that's kind of like a dome. So some things that I found around my house that I think would work really well, I found a plastic cup that I cut down, right? That'll be a good shape. I also found my egg cartons and I cut them up into this is like the perfect little body for a turtle. I also found a slushy lid, which actually worked out the best out of everything that I found. But I think something that would be similar to this is a fruit cup or a pudding cup. Those would work great. Empty, obviously. Enjoy your snack first. If you can't find anything that's that shape, we could also make that shape out of something that's more flat. So I found a paper dessert plate at my house. So what I did was I cut a line through the middle of it, and you're gonna overlap those flapping pieces, and then it kind of makes a dome shape that would be great for a turtle too, okay? So whatever you decide on, get it set aside. You're also gonna need some tissue paper. I found some fun colors at my house. And you're gonna want some construction paper. If you don't have construction paper, you could use printer paper and just color it. That's fine too. You're gonna need some plain white glue. You might wanna have a glue stick. It's not necessary, but it might come in handy. You are going to want scissors, of course. And the first thing that we're gonna do to kind of prep is we're gonna cut our tissue paper into different shapes. So I cut mine into kind of squares. You could do triangles. You could really play with your shapes, and you could do hearts or whatever shapes you want to. It might be a good time to be thinking about our different shapes that we learn about. You could use any colors that you like. So we're gonna set those aside. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna find some sort of a container to put our glue in. What you wanna do is you wanna put your glue in a container and mix it with water. So find a brush that you don't care too much about because it's gonna get kind of yucky. And you're gonna just make this really loose water glue mixture, right? It's really, really wet, and that's perfect. So we're gonna get started. So for me, I'm gonna be using my slushy cup. And the first thing I wanna do is I wanna make my head. So the head is gonna get glued to the inside, and I found that it's a little easier to do it first because once it gets all gluey, it's hard to kind of stick everything to it. So let's do our head first. I'm gonna cut my head out of a piece of construction paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna show you how I did it. I went straight up for a neck, and then I went around for a head. And then we're gonna finish our neck off. Okay, so something like this, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're gonna set that aside for just a second, and we're gonna figure out where on our turtle shell we wanna put it. So you're gonna be gluing it to the inside of your turtle shell. So figure out where you want your neck to be, how long you want it to be, and then you can go ahead and glue it. You could use the white glue, but for me, I'm gonna use the glue stick because I think it'll work a little bit quicker for us. So I'm gonna get some glue on the end of it real good. And then we're gonna just stick it right in there. Oops. There we go. Stick it right in there. Okay, and now our turtle has a head. So we're gonna hold on to that while we're working a little bit and let it set. And we're gonna start working on our shell. So for the shell, you wanna take that water glue mixture that you made, and you're gonna put just a little bit wherever you're working. Not too much because it's gonna get drippy if you do too much. So just a little bit, and that's just gonna help our tissue paper to adhere. So you're gonna take your piece of tissue paper and you're gonna just put it right on top of that little spot that you just made. You could pat it down with your finger, or you could use the brush if you want to. And we're just gonna keep working our way around the shell, putting our different colors on here. Now I chose pretty large pieces just for the purposes of this video not being too long, but you could make them as small as you want to, and you could be as detailed as you want to on this too. It might be a fun time to play with your shapes and your colors. The cool thing about the tissue paper is that you can overlap it and it kind of makes different colors. So it's a good opportunity to learn about our colors. You could use primary colors and see what other secondary colors you could make out of it. So we're just gonna work our way around. And once you get them where you want to, you could see mine are kind of sticking up and they look a little crazy. We're gonna take a little more of that glue mixture and we're just gonna press them down. And that's gonna help them really adhere and stay on our cup. Just like this. The paper might move a little bit. You gotta be a little patient with it. Okay, we're gonna keep moving around our turtle till he's all covered up here. Now I keep saying he for mine, and I think that's because, I'm not sure if you guys know, but we have a turtle at the museum. His name is Franklin. And I was hanging out with him the other day, and he was my inspiration for this craft. I thought, you know what? We should make a nice little turtle craft for Franklin. So that's my inspiration. But this might be a good time to be thinking about what kind of turtle you guys want to make. Is your turtle going to have a good personality, right? We could think about what kind of a turtle we got here. Is he going to be silly? Is he going to be very serious? when we put our face on there, that's when he's really gonna get some personality, right? We could give him eyelashes or glasses, maybe. That would be pretty silly. So however, whatever you like. And we're just gonna keep layering until we cover everything. I like the idea of a turtle craft right now because turtles I always think of as being kind of a cozy animal. You know, they get to carry their home on their back, which I think is kind of nice. I think it's a good animal for us right now. We're nice and cozy at home. Okay, I think my guy's almost done. Now my guy, I used the slushy lid, which means that my guy has a hole on the top. So in case you guys were able to find a slushy lid, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna deal with that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my guy over, see the hole? I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the inside, just right around that circle in the middle. And then I'm gonna find a good sized piece and I'm gonna stick it right to it from the inside. So we're sort of patching the hole from the inside out. We'll put our second layer in there just to make sure it's on there good. And there we go. Now we don't have a hole anymore, okay? So now we got our turtle shell all colorful, how we like it, and we got our little turtle head hanging out there. And what we're gonna do next is we're going to work on our legs. Now I told you that you could cut your legs out, or we could also use our popsicle sticks. So if you're gonna cut your legs out, it's a really simple shape. It's just like this, okay? And I just freehand cut those out of the paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you're gonna fold the end of it up just a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. And you're gonna put glue just on that folded part, and then you're gonna stick it to the inside of your shell so that it's sticking out. Just like that, and you're gonna do all 4 of them. But if you did find your popsicle sticks, this is gonna be where those are gonna come into play. So I crisscrossed them so that when I put them behind my turtle, his little legs will stick out like so. See that? So you're just gonna go ahead and glue your legs onto your turtle. And then the final step is gonna be to give it some personality and give it that face. So here's my finished product with the paper legs. He's pretty cute. And if you want to, you could keep going over doing different layers on your shell. You could really make this craft as quick or as long as you would like to, depending on how much patience you have to make your designs on your shell. So here's the sample with the slushy lid, and here is one that is the egg carton. So different sizes, but still really cute. And you guys could make a whole family out of them. You could find all different kinds of shapes in your house and make a whole little group of turtles to hang out together. They might make a really nice gift for someone. They might brighten someone's day. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this craft, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
Thanks, Marissa. Using items from around the house is the name of the game right now. We can also use some things we find around the house to make musical instruments. Up next is Jeanmarie and her family showing off their creations.
Hi everyone, I'm Jeanmarie Mansfield and I'm the Associate Director of Education at the Long Island Children's Museum. And today, my kids and I want to show you some of the musical instruments that we've been making over the past few days at home. So this is Dylan.
My name's Dylan Didi. I mean Dylan Vincent Didi.
Good. And you want to introduce yourself?
Do it.
Okay, this is Penny.
Go hit it.
And we've been making some musical instruments from materials that we have around the house. So to make these instruments, you just want to look around and see what kind of jars and containers or boxes that you might have around the house that you would be recycling.
Actually, this one was
That was the easiest one to make? Yeah. And then you need some other supplies too. So we used wax paper, but you could use tin foil or some other material. and experiment with the materials that you use to see what the different sounds are that they make, to find ones that you like. We used kitchen twine and hair bands, and we needed scissors and different kinds of tape. So we've got packing tape, and we use duct tape as well. And there's lots of materials and different ways that you can make instruments. So you can make something simple like shakers, like this, that we have a jar filled with rice, and it makes some sounds. You can experiment with using beans or lentils or different kinds of objects in your jars to see what different kinds of sounds they make, right? And we have another one with rice in a cup. So that's got a little bit of a different sound. So play around with it and see what sounds you can make. And then we created some guitars and a bass right over here. And there's lots of ways that you can do that also. So what we did is we made a hole in the top and put a piece of a wrapping paper tube into the top. And then we made little holes around a bigger hole in the middle so that we could string our hair bands in there. I don't know if you can hear it, but we've got our guitar going.
That's my one.
That's the one that you made. And then we have another smaller one that Penny made. It's sort of like a banjo, actually. A little smaller, or ukulele. And this one's got hair bands as well, but it just wrapped around it. And we've got an old box and some more of that wrapping paper tube. Or we can show you a bigger bass right here.
This is my one too.
That's yours. And so we just used some duct tape and an old Amazon box that we got. And we've got some strings and kitchen twine that we strung across. I used thumbtacks here because I'm playing it with the kids and keeping an eye on it, but you could always make holes in it and string it through there as well. And the more you tighten your strings, the different kind of sounds that they'll make. So play around with how tight you make your strings as well. So you can hear, because this one's a bigger box, it's got sort of a deeper sound. Experiment a little bit with the size of the holes that you make in your boxes too, because that might change the way it sounds. And then what you can do afterwards is you can decorate your instruments. So we have construction paper that we are going to use to decorate. Penny put on some stickers and some paint on her shaker. You can use markers, anything that you have around the house to decorate will work. And so you can see, you guys want to show some of your instruments that you made? Why don't you show your cymbals, Dylan?
This is my drum.
That's your
And
drum.
I'm going to show my cymbals.
Okay.
This is my power pool. So what you do with these symbols? Some people that are watching this video or are going to might not know what symbols are. So they do this. They could be used as clapping or a very loud instrument.
And they're one of the percussion instruments, right?
Yes. Yeah. That I don't know if that's my favorite kind.
Which is your favorite, Dylan? That you made. Which is your favorite one that you made?
All of them.
You love them all? What about you, Penny? What's your favorite?
We live in New York.
All right. So Penny, I think, is done with her instrument making today. The only thing I would suggest is making sure, if you've got rice or something that is a little messy inside your container, to make sure you tape the top down so it doesn't spill out, because that happened to us earlier, right? We had a little bit of a mess.
Recently, it was my fault. I was using the shaker that my sister made me and gave me, and I was using it so hard that, pow!
Right.
The wax paper fell off and then rice everywhere. Here's my
Lesson learned. Now we're going to tape the tops down. So I hope you guys enjoy making your instruments at home. We'd love to see some pictures or video of the instruments that you made and the music that you make with it.
Thanks, Jeanmarie. It's always great to take the opportunity to take a look at some of the items before we throw them out or put them in the recycling bin to see if we can upcycle them into a new play toy or a musical instrument. Last but not least, we have some sensory play with Beth Ann that doubles as a science experiment. This oobleck is inspired by the book by Dr. Seuss, Bartholomew and the Oobleck. If you haven't read that one before, be sure to check it out. Take it away, Beth Ann.
Hello, my friends. It's Beth Ann Balalis, the Access and Inclusion Manager at the Long Island Children's Museum. Today, I'm going to be showing you all how to make oobleck using cornstarch and water. So you may have seen oobleck before at messy afternoons on Saturdays and Sundays, or we use it for our LICM for All friendly hours as a sensory activity. So oobleck is super cool because it's a non-Newtonian fluid. So that means it's not quite a liquid and it's not quite a solid. If you move it around, it'll become a solid, and if you let it go, it'll drip through your fingers just like a liquid. So oobleck is super simple to make, so I'm going to bring you all through the steps and show you how to do it. So you're going to need some cornstarch, you'll need water, a container to put it in. I happen to have some food coloring that I'm also going to be using. So keep in mind that cornstarch can get a little messy, but thankfully it's very easy to clean up. All right. Open up my container. So if you have cornstarch in your house, that's great. We're not going to use too much of it. We're just going to use a little bit so that way if you need it later on, you'll still have it. So when you're making oobleck, you want to do 2 parts of the cornstarch to 1 part water. I have a tablespoon, so I'm just going to use that to measure. So I'm going to get 2 pretty heaping tablespoons of cornstarch. I'll pour in some water. I'm just going to pour it in. It doesn't have to be exact when you're making oobleck. You can always add some water and mix it around a little bit. So you definitely have to get a little messy for this, hence messy afternoons. But like I said before, cornstarch is really easy to clean up, and even when it becomes the oobleck, so it's a little bit more liquidy, it's still pretty easy to clean it up. Just wait a few minutes for it to dry and it'll come right up. This activity is really great to do on a rainy, yucky day when we can't really be outside. So once you're done mixing it all together, and once I'm done mixing it all together, I'm going to show you all what it means to be a non-Newtonian fluid. So I'm just mixing. You want to make sure you really get in there and jigger on all the sides. So you can see mine's a little too liquidy. You can see it runs a little too fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more cornstarch and add it in. It's always easier to add than it is to take away. You really can't take it away. All right, now it's much better. All right. Perfect. All right. So once you know your oobleck is all done, you'll be able to pick it up, and then when you let it go, it'll run through your fingers just like this. All right, so I'm going to add a little pinch more water. Just a little pinch. Boop. And then I'm going to add some of the food coloring that I had laying around. If you don't have food coloring, that's okay. You don't really need it. Just makes it a little bit prettier. So just going to put 2 little drops in there. Perfect. All right, so you see it in there. Now I'm going to mix it all around so that my color mixes in. All right, perfect. All right, so just like I was saying, oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid, so that means that it is a liquid and a solid. So when I pick it up and I move it around and I roll it in a ball, it'll get solid. See, just like this. And then when I let it go and let it run through my fingers, it'll flow just like a liquid. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed doing some messy afternoon at home today. We look forward to seeing you soon.
So here we are back in my living room. Thank you, Beth Ann, for that demonstration of oobleck. When I did the science experiment with my 3- and 5-year-olds, they had a lot of questions. What is a solid? What is a liquid? Something that we'd never discussed before. It's really fun diving into those answers. So we were able to find an old episode of Bill Nye the Science Guy online. Whatever questions your kids come up with, have fun figuring out those answers. We can always help you too if you want to post some questions in the comments. One of the things we miss deeply at the museum is interacting with our visitors. We love seeing the joy on your faces during our programs, our workshops, when we're at the theater, or even just being in the exhibits with you. So show us what you're up to and what you're doing from this video or anything from the videos we've been sharing with you. If you haven't been following along, feel free to join us on Facebook, or we have some activities also on Pinterest or on Instagram. Look up #PlayLICM and use that yourself when you're posting photos. We also have another full-length edition of LICM at Home. That's just at licm.org/at-home. We also have a full-length production from the LICM Theater, Happy as Clams, the musical. You can catch that one at licm.org/at-home theater. Thank you so much, everyone. We look forward to seeing you again soon, and I hope that this has been helpful to you. On behalf of everyone at the museum, take care.